Union Calendar Number 183, H.R. 4549, a bill to amend the Small Business Act to clarify the responsibilities of the Office of Rural Affairs of the Small Business Administration and for other purposes.
Pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Williams, and the gentleman from California, Mr. Cisneros, each will control 20 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Texas.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks and include extraneous material on the bill.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, I yield myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of H.R. 4549, the Office of Rural Affairs Enhancement Act. This bill was introduced by Representative Goodlander from the great state of New Hampshire, Representative Weed from the great state of Wisconsin, and Representative Golden from the great state of Maine. 46 million Americans live in rural communities. The small business of rural America has distinct and persistent challenges such as the shortage of business assistance resources and limited access to capital. And these challenges often hinder their growth and their sustainability. The SBA Office of Rural Affairs was created to serve our rural entrepreneurs. However, it is often underutilized and thus ineffective. This bill addresses the challenges by clarifying the critical responsibilities of the Office of Rural Affairs and qualifications for leadership to prioritize the rural communities. This bill ensures that the office will be utilized to each rural entrepreneur where they are and anywhere in Main Street America. And these efforts will strengthen local networks and equip entrepreneurs with the knowledge and support necessary for long-term growth. So, H.R. 4549 is about investing in the future of rural America, creating jobs, and ensuring resources reach all businesses across America. I want to thank Representative Goodlander, Weed, and Golden for introducing this bipartisan legislation. And I urge my colleagues to support H.R. 4549, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman from Texas reserves. The gentleman from California is recognized for 20 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
I rise in support of this common sense legislation to enhance the Office of Rural Affairs at the SBA, and I commend Ms. Goodlander, Mr. Weed, and Mr. Golden for their commitment to making this office operate more effectively for rural small businesses. Rural small businesses are powerful drivers of economic growth across the United States, fueling the agricultural, tourism, manufacturing, and energy sectors. Unfortunately, they receive disproportionately fewer SBA loans and resources than their urban counterparts and face greater challenges, including access to affordable capital, unreliable internet access, and access to talent. Created in 1990, the Office of Rural Affairs at the SBA could play a key role in helping small businesses overcome these challenges. However, throughout its existence, the office has either been dormant or the collateral duty of a regional administrator. In 2020, an acting director was named, and in 2021, the SBA appointed a permanent full-time career deputy director to stand up the office. This bill would elevate the role of director to an assistant administrator, ensuring the assistant administrator meets certain qualifications and requires the office to host webinars and outreach events. With clear lines of communication and the outreach that will come from the office, small businesses will be able to access resources that should be readily available to them. I'd like to once again thank Ms. Goodlander, Mr. Weed, and Mr. Golden for their bipartisan efforts on behalf of the American rural small businesses. I encourage my colleagues to support this bill, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman from California reserves. The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman from Texas reserves. The gentleman from California is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentlelady from the great state of New Hampshire, Ms. Goodlander, for 2 minutes.
The gentlelady from Wisconsin is recognized for 2 minutes. New Hampshire is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm very proud to rise today and join my colleagues from really across America in support of what is a common sense bipartisan bill, H.R. 4549, a bill that will deliver a fair deal for America's rural small businesses and entrepreneurs by cutting red tape, delivering access to key federal resources, ensuring experienced and accountable representation and leadership within our government, a bill that will ensure the voices of rural America aren't just heard, but are truly prioritized within our government. Running a small business, it's really an act of faith. It's hard work, often brutally hard work, And it's extraordinarily important work because rural small businesses are the beating hearts of communities across America and in every corner of my home state, New Hampshire. They're the backbone of our economy. As I've worked alongside, as I've listened to and learned from rural small businesses across New Hampshire, from the family farmers of our North Country to the manufacturers of our Monadnock region, and from the loggers of our Upper Valley to the small businesses of the Souhegan Valley, I've heard again and again that the federal programs designed to help our rural small businesses, they're riddled with red tape, they're often impossible to access, and I've heard again and again that the rules of the road are simply not written with the realities of rural America in mind, the challenges and the opportunities. That's not right, and it's our job as lawmakers to correct it. Now, in 1990, Congress created the Office of Rural Affairs within the Small Business Administration to tackle this problem set. But as we've seen over the past 35 years, the office is underperforming. It lacks experienced and accountable leadership, and the red tape is still very much there for the cutting. So our bill is going to address itself to these gaps in the law. It's going to require a senior leader with real experience in rural economic development to be at the helm and accountable to Congress and the American people.
Gentlewoman's time has expired.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With that, I urge all my colleagues.
One more time.
Your time?
Yeah, I yield the gentlelady 2 more minutes.
The gentleman is recognized for an additional 2 minutes.
With that, Mr. Speaker, I urge my colleagues from across this body and across our nation to come together to deliver for our rural small businesses. They are the backbone of our economy. They are the fabric of American life. And this bipartisan bill, the Office of Rural Affairs Enhancement Act, is going to go a long way to delivering for them. With that, I thank you and I yield back.
Gentleman from New Hampshire yields back. The gentleman from California
Mr. Speaker, I reserve.
reserves. Gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, we have no further speakers, and I'm prepared to close, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman from Texas reserves. Gentleman from California is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I have no further speakers and am prepared to close.
Recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to once again thank my colleagues, Ms. Goodlander, Mr. Weed, and Mr. Golden for their bipartisan efforts to pass this legislation. By strengthening the Office of Rural Affairs, we can ensure all small businesses have adequate access to the resources at their disposal. I encourage my colleagues to vote yes on this bill, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman from California yields. The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I urge my colleagues to support this common sense legislation to support rural small businesses, and I yield back.
Gentleman from California yields back. From Texas yields back. The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass the bill H.R. 4549? Those in favor so signify by saying aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. For what purpose